Totally Local Podcast. We're back to doing it. I don't remember my whole spiel in the beginning, but it's all about local stuff, local people, local communities, Monmouth, Ocean County, local businesses, entrepreneurs, artists, entertainers, characters in general. Today I have a very special guest, Yolanda Fleming. Is it Yolanda Navarra Fleming, or do you go by Yolanda Fleming? How do you like to...
I do a little bit of everything.
Okay, all right, cool. Yolanda, you have a show coming up, and I'm just going to read the information right off of it. The Fire That Started Itself, 26 abstract paintings and mixed media collages. That's happening. When's the reception? Is April 6th, 6 o'clock to 7:30 in Whippany, the Hanover Municipal Building in Whippany.
That's right.
So, how you've been making art your whole life, or
on and off my whole life. Started very young, but I got really back into it in 2015, and now I'm just committed. I know I'm a lifer now.
So the one I was looking at one piece that you put up on Facebook, and it said it's acrylic, but it also has Sharpie. So is that what you mean when you say mixed media?
Yes.
Is it just anything? You just grab something and do it, or what?
Well, I was looking for fine lines, and I chose a Sharpie that time.
There you
where
go.
I might have used black paint, but I wanted really fine lines, so that's where
cool.
Sharpie comes.
That's cool.
So yeah, it could be anything.
And did you find that during the break that we all had, that I'm not going to say the name of, do you feel like during that time it gave you kind of more of a chance to kind of get back into it?
I wasn't home, unfortunately, because I work at a hospital.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I had to go.
Oh.
But there was a little time there where my daughter was very sick. She didn't have the C word.
the thing.
The C word. But she had something else that was not good. And so I was home for a little while, not that long. But anyway, during that time, it was a very introspective time for everybody.
Yeah.
And yeah, I did paint more just to like stay sane.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't
That's good.
easy.
Yeah. Yeah. You
nuts.
needed some kind of outlet to,
Most definitely.
I was doing the podcast a lot during that time. Before, it was so hard because people weren't used to Zoom. And now it's like everybody is used to dealing with Zoom.
You have to be.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's better to have that option so you don't have to, there's clients I have to meet with that are, say, 30 minutes away from where I'm at. And it's like, do I really have to drive up there just to
Why?
give you guys
For
a high
what?
five? Yeah. But, some people are old school and they still appreciate it. Anyway, so I was looking at this one, and it was interesting because you refer to it as newish work, and it says you had a draft lying around. So does that mean, because I've painted before. I have a background back in the day.
Very interesting.
But does that mean if you have a draft of it, is that something like a thumbnail sketch you worked on and then, or do you have like the canvas and it's just there?
It was the actual canvas, and it was, I would say, maybe the first or second layer. And I just looked at it and I was like, put it aside, went on to something else for whatever reason, and then was looking through other things just to see what I forgot about, and that was one of them. And I said, I know what I can do with this now.
That's cool.
Yeah, sometimes it takes a little time for it to
percolate
brew.
there. Yeah.
Right.
So what made you? I mean, it's a big step to go from like, you're making your art, it's your thing, and then I noticed online you started posting more stuff. So what made you like put it out there more?
Because I don't like to make art in a vacuum, whether it's writing or music or paintings. I mean, if nobody's going to see it, what good is it?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I shouldn't say that. It's good for me, and I enjoy doing it, of course. But why not take it to the next level and see if other people like it? If they dig it, cool. Then it just takes it to the next level, and I think it just makes life more interesting to see who likes it and why.
So it wasn't a case of somebody like saying, encouraging you, because sometimes it takes a lot to put you. Oh, really?
Yeah, I got
All
a little bit of that. Sure. Yeah.
And what as far as putting it out there or putting a show together, what's that I don't even know what that process is like to be like, just do you have to go places and say like I want to show this? Did you know somebody? Like how does that work?
Well, I joined the Guild of Creative Arts in
Perfect.
Shrewsbury.
Oh, great.
And that was helpful because they don't force you. But, if you're going to pay to be a member, you might as well show things, right?
Yeah.
And I became an exhibiting member, which was very cool. That's kind of a high honor where they look at your work and they say, yeah, you can do this regularly, and
cool.
And you can be in specific shows that maybe other members can't. So that was kind of nice, and that really pushed me to want to work harder and do more. And what was the initial question?
Like how you kind of like came together
the
to
process.
put it. Yeah.
The process. Well, okay. So the process of just entering paintings for any given show, like say at the Guild, or I have another one coming up at the Art Alliance in Red Bank, which I'm excited about. I have things hanging up at Good Karma Cafe in Red Bank. I even have things hanging up at work. So it's different for each venue. You have to consider the venue and what I want to say, what statement I want to make in any given venue. So if you're talking specifically about the Hanover Municipal Building, that was interesting because I have so much stuff now that I had to like weed out. So Hanover, yes. So I had to pick 26 pieces because that's how many nails they have in the wall. That's how many spaces there are. So I looked through all my stuff and tried to figure out what made the most sense, what goes together, and what kind of expresses where I started and where I am now. I kind of wanted a whole picture. So there are lots of different things. Like I have one piece called Be Yourself, and it's all kinds of beach finds that I put together on a canvas. And that kind of looks like, wow, where did that come from? But whatever, it's one of the things that kind of moved me along to painting. That was one of the earlier things. But I have to tell you that the whole reason I got really into painting was after I did a shamanic journey.
Oh, nice. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about a shamanic journey.
Cool. Like, what the hell is that?
Yeah. Tell me all about that. What is a shamanic? How I mean, I'm sure there's many, but what is this? What is yours involved?
My version that I went into was just because we had a mutual friend, this woman that I know said, oh, I really want you to meet this person that I know who's studying shamanic healing. And she's sort of doing graduate work or whatever it was. And, I kind of offered you because I thought you'd be into it. I was like, what the hell's a shamanic journey? I don't care. Let me do it.
Yeah,
fine.
I'm in.
So really all it entailed was me lying down, which I'm really good at that.
Yeah.
Queen of lying down.
Okay.
And with headphones, and you listen to drumming, a certain drum beat that puts your brain into the theta state, I believe it is. Oh God, I hope I'm saying it right. And it was that was combined with a meditative, a guided meditation. So like guiding you from the lower world to the middle world to the upper world. It was so cool. And it's kind of like hypnotism, but
is this like a study, or is this something this person offers, or are they just testing this out?
You
just went in, you're like, I don't even know if I'm in the right place, but they're like, lay down, we're going to play some music. You're like, all right.
It was just what she was doing and testing to see if people could, me specifically at that time, could get to the state that you're supposed to get to where you see things and you...
Nice.
So cool.
So
it's like...
So it worked.
It totally worked.
And then you got up there and the gods were like, put some paintings out there.
Well, what happened was I didn't really even, know what I was doing specifically at that time. But I know one thing I was doing was walking on the beach, collecting stuff with my husband, who's a big sea glass aficionado. And he encouraged me he bought me a big piece of wood and he said, why don't you put some shells on it or something? I'm like, okay.
Some shells on
so
it.
I did that. And then I started painting them and I started like getting more into it. So anyway, after the shamanic journey, I went home and I started painting an eye on a canvas. And it turned out to be what I thought was an elephant's eye. And I had the journey I did was I had a vision of an elephant.
Nice.
That I was actually riding on an elephant. Don't judge me.
I mean, on a shamanic journey, you could ride an elephant. Yeah.
Anything could happen. So it was really cool, and it was just like a fun experience, and it enlightening, and
Is your spirit
know.
animal an elephant?
maybe.
Wow.
That's
powerful.
Who confirms that?
I think
know.
you just whatever you experience.
vibe with,
yeah,
right?
I mean, maybe they could transition out. You could have like a elephant one day and like a harbor seal the next or something. I don't know. But wow, that's awesome. So did this take place like within the last
This
when
was
did you
in
do this?
2017.
Oh, cool. Wow.
And in 2018, a lot of cool things happened, and
Mm-hmm.
I kind of attribute it to that experience. It was just very mind-opening. It was like when people drop acid,
Yeah.
and then they,
But
I
this-
didn't have to do that. I
Yeah,
didn't
you
have
just
to hurt
went
myself,
to a
thankfully.
meditative. That's like a meditative state like that.
Yeah.
And then were they just like with a clipboard, like analyze? They didn't have like
No,
things on your head or
no,
anything like
nothing
that?
like that.
Uh-huh.
But she did record them,
Mm-hmm.
so I could hear the stupid things that I said during them afterwards. And
Wow.
not that I wasn't in a trance per se,
No,
but
put your brain.
but
in a
I was
different...
very relaxed, and I just said, whatever
Mm-hmm.
happens, I'm open.
So
Yeah, and then
cool.
I painted this elephant,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, damn, I've never painted an elephant before.
Uh-huh.
Like I never really painted.
Mm-hmm.
My mother was a painter when I was a kid, and I used to watch her work, and I would think to myself, that's not for me. I don't do that. I don't have that ability. I made collage, and that was kind of easier. It didn't, because I really can't draw per
Yeah.
se. So I don't know. But anyway, collage makes all things possible because you can get all kinds of different pieces from whatever, magazines, books. I love to rip up books now, which I never thought I would do. I thought that was sacrilegious. But now I love to rip up books and put them on canvas with paint, just like throw it all on there.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's why it's mixed media.
Do you have like a special space, like a studio where you
Oh,
can
my
just
space
get...
is my space is very special. It's the laundry room of
Oh.
my house.
Lovely, lovely.
It's fine actually. It's like the corner of it, and so I can do a little laundry, do a little painting. And every time I walk through there to get the laundry or something like that, or a roll of paper towels, I can just quickly do something like take
That's
a Sharpie.
cool.
It's just it just makes life a little more bearable.
Yeah.
I
hear about
whatever
it.
it takes.
Yeah. So you're how long have you been in the Highlands? You're a Highlands resident. Been a while?
Yes. No. Since 2018.
Oh, cool. Did you move into Monmouth County? Were you in Monmouth
I
County?
was in Monmouth County. I lived in Rumson for a lot of years, 14, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh, it wasn't a big hop. To get
nah,
over there. Yeah.
no,
Yeah, that's cool.
no. Yeah.
I love the Highlands. I'm from Highlands.
I know, that's so cool.
Growing
Yeah.
up there was, you could hike all the way up the hill.
Mm-hmm.
There was always, in the summer it was great because there's the public beaches that nobody knows about that are like right there.
True. Did you go to the elementary school there where you
No.
have the view of the ocean? That's
I
like-
mean, yeah, no,
like
I
too good
just
to be true.
used it was just used in the winter for like the sledding because they planted all these trees, but it used to be this like
I remember I
treacherous
was
hill.
on that treacherous hill.
So no, I went to OLPH, which has since closed, and then I went to Mater Dei, which has since closed.
Wow.
So it's like I never went to school at all. So we talked a little bit about the event. We talked about your process, and where do you feel like this is going to kind of put a bookend on whatever theme you have going right now, or is it just like an ongoing theme?
I like themes. So, yeah, I think this is going to be a bookend, and
That's
then
cool.
I'll move on to the next thing.
Well, and then you said you have another show coming up after this one?
Well, it's just a show that I have a piece in,
Oh,
a
okay.
juried show.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
That's
at
cool.
the Art Alliance in Red Bank.
Uh-huh.
And, yeah, so.
Do
that's
you say like, you live in Highlands, but do you go into Red Bank a lot, or?
Not as much as I probably should.
It's
It's hard to park there.
Oh man,
You heard?
It's ridiculous. It really affects my decisions
Same.
at this.
Unfortunately.
When I was a kid, I'd take the M24 public bus from Highlands into Red Bank. It took an hour, but it was a beautiful ride.
Yep.
And now going into Red Bank, it's like, where am I gonna park? And it really depends on where. If you're going to Count Basie, you could go like behind. There's like whatever blocks and stuff.
Right.
But if you're going in with two kids on a Saturday,
It's
like,
miserable. I know.
oh my God. When was the last time I went in? It was we had a doctor's appointment. We went somewhere, I forget where it was, and then we're like, all right, we're hungry, let's go in. And then you have to go find a place to eat. and then the kids are hungry, then they start freaking out, and you're freaking out.
It's all bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So let me go over the. Let me just touch on the event again, and I don't want to get it wrong, so I'm going to pull up the info I have. So first of all, it's called The Fire That Started Itself. Mm-hmm. And does that any way relate to the shamanic journey or you as a person?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Because I didn't see it coming, and I did this journey just because I was being a nice person, trying to help somebody who's doing studies, you know, and also because I'm open to that kind of thing anyway, and I was just interested. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I do feel like it was a fire that started itself, and the painting that I named that was not really one of the first things I did, but it's the one that looks most like a fire. So,
so what would you want as far as people going there and like kind of gathering or absorbing what vibe you want to put out there? What would be something that you would want somebody to walk away with after seeing your
That's
your
a
pieces?
really interesting question. I don't know if there's any one thing in particular, but I'd like to think that maybe people will look at them and think, maybe I could try that, and maybe that could soothe my savage beast, because that's what it does for me. You know, I have a day job. I have 2 adult children who live with me. I have a crazy ass chihuahua who keeps me up at night because she's hungry. Wonderful husband, but you know, he's retired too. So like everybody's, you know, it's a lot.
Yeah.
So I think people maybe don't realize that art is really accessible to everyone. It's really just buy a canvas, buy some paint. You may not be good at it, but so what?
Yeah.
You know, if you happen to be, wonderful. If not, you're going to have some fun.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and you always get to look at the canvas and decide, like, I want to paint over it. I want to keep this.
I do it all the time.
Yeah.
You know, my favorite thing to do, and I probably shouldn't tell people this because then they're going to do it and then I'm in competition, but I go to Goodwill and I buy old canvases and I paint over them because I always think, well, I'm just going to practice. And then, of course, it turns out to be like, oh, my favorite thing.
Yeah.
But I love doing that because sometimes you'll even find framed canvases and you just never know. And I always feel like there's other things going on and that everything has energy, right? So if an old canvas that was in someone else's house hanging for a number of years and it brought them joy, maybe I'll get a little bit of that and it will help invoke some kind of cool image. And it's worked every time, I got to tell you. Every time.
Well, thank you, Yolanda, for sitting down with me.
Thank you.
You know, it's The Fire That Started Itself, 20 abstract paintings and mixed media collages done by Yolanda, who's obviously sitting here. The Hanover Municipal Building, 1000 NJ10, Whippany, New Jersey.
And it's April and May, not April to May.
Okay. It's April and May.
Yes.
And the reception is, why did it go?
April 6th.
Thank you. April 6th,
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
Be there, be square.